Hey everyone, it's Eric. Welcome back to Well, What Do You Know? Today's episode is a special one and a little different. This conversation wasn't recorded by me. Instead, Rosalie Lyons, a longtime resident of Westminster, California, sat down with her son Dave and her granddaughter Karissa to share some stories from her life. Honestly, that makes this episode feel even more personal and warm. It's 3 generations all in the same room, capturing family memories. And here's the best part. This episode is only 19 minutes long. It won't take much time to listen to, but it will give you so much. Stories from small town South Dakota, adventures in Japan, landing airplanes near cows and oceans, raising 3 boys, bowling 300 games, and living a life Rosalie herself rates as a 9.5 out of 10. It's short, heartfelt, and full of the kind of wisdom that only comes from a life well lived. I hope you enjoy listening to Rosalie's stories as much as I did.
I'm Karissa Lyons, and I'm here reporting my grandma.
Rosalie Lyons.
And we're just going to ask her a few questions. So my first question for you is, what is the first memory you have from growing up?
From growing up, yeah. That was a long time ago. I don't know that I really can remember anything specific. I lived in the flat part of South Dakota, and I don't know. I guess probably going to my grandma's house would be a good one.
Yeah. I guess that kind of answers my question. The second one was, what memory stuck out the most from when you were a kid?
Well, we had a lot of neighborhood kids, and we played hide and go seek and lots of games. Well, and two, we pulled dirty tricks as not with the family, just with friends, like Halloween, tipping over toilets.
Oh.
And what else did we do? Played tricks on people. We'd knock on doors and run. And when so one year, the previous year we tipped over this man's toilet, and the next year we went back. There were about 8 of us who ran together, and just as we got near his place, he got out a shotgun and started firing, and we took off running. I ran across the plowed field, and I don't think my feet hit the ground. So we didn't go back the next year.
That's probably for the best.
Probably for the best. Yeah.
Like, do they have out? They didn't have indoor toilets or whatever. That was outhouses or something.
You know, I don't know. It was at the edge of town. They may not have. They didn't have extensive plumbing in those days, and it wasn't on the farm, but it was near the farm. But it took a while for the farmers to get indoor plumbing and electricity. So I know we lived in just a regular house, which was, common at those days. And then when I was 6, we moved to another house and stayed there until we moved to California. And that basically is what I can tell you, which isn't very informative, but...
So do you remember if growing up you wanted to be a teacher? And if not, what made you kind of decide to be one?
Well, my mother was a teacher. And when I was growing up, I don't know that I had anything particular in mind. But when I was in college, this was like in 1951 through 55, you could either be a nurse or a teacher, and I didn't like the sight of blood, so I decided to be a teacher.
Fair enough. I also don't like the sight of blood, so I think you passed that on.
Yeah, I spent a year in Japan. Well, I went in September and came home in June and taught for the dependent Air Force children.
Okay.
Just outside of Tokyo. It was called Naramasu School. And I had met my husband before I left. And if I hadn't, I would have stayed. But I came home after a year.
Yeah.
And that was a good experience. I got to travel to Taipei
Mm-hmm.
and Hong Kong,
Yeah, that's super cool.
and that was fun. Got to see a lot of Japan.
Mm-hmm. Is that somewhere you would go back to?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, and if it was all in the same pattern, yes.
Yeah.
Except we had problems when we were landing in Taipei. We hit a cow.
Oh no.
That man wasn't very happy, but it was a wide open range,
Mm-hmm.
so things were not as modern as they are now.
Yeah.
And that was a time too, also when you landed in Hong Kong. We got there before dawn, and it was still relatively dark, and we had to circle until it got light because they didn't have any big beams on the runway, and the runway ended in the ocean. So if you overshot, you were in trouble.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we made it.
What standout moments do you think of when you think of being a mother to your 3 hooligans?
What do I think of?
When you think of being a mother, like what are some memories?
Well, it was scary. It was fun. It was frustrating, and I'd do it all over again.
Sure, my dad appreciates hearing that. What's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Probably Christmas.
Is there any Christmases specifically that like you think back to?
I remember when I was actually in high school. I wanted a zipper notebook, a reindeer sweater, and I think there was one other thing. And we went to my grandparents to open presents, and I got everything I wanted. So,
Yeah.
but Christmases were usually very good. Santa Claus always came.
Glad to hear it. What's your favorite place that you've ever traveled to?
Probably the Czech Republic when we went to Prague. That was a fascinating city. But we did a lot of traveling before that. But in retrospect, back, that was one of the favorite places. So, well, and we went to the national parks and we did a lot of traveling. Took the kids as many places as we could go. We did camping. And then, well, their dad loved to camp. In fact, he took the 3 boys and went and bought a trailer while I was at a meeting. So the pattern was set.
Yeah. What values and beliefs have driven you the most in your life?
To always be the best you could, to be fair, and to look out for the underdog. And as I got older, you really didn't know where people were coming from. So, I mean, they might be doing something that's completely out of line with what you believe, what you're doing, but you don't know where they started from. So, just to be tolerant, I guess.
What was your favorite stage of life and why?
I don't know that I had a favorite. I've enjoyed every one that's come along.
Okay.
But old age probably is not my favorite. But
fair enough. So you have a least favorite?
I think probably, between 30 and 50 when the kids were growing up and we were doing a lot of family things, and I was physically able to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could relive one memory, what would it be?
That's a hard one.
We can come back to it if you want.
Hmm?
I said we can circle back around.
Yeah.
If you want.
Okay.
What is your favorite lunch?
Well, I just plain like food, but my favorite probably is I like Marie Callender's shepherd's pie.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever had it.
It's good. Well, yeah, if we hadn't gone to In-N-Out today, we could have gone there.
What is your favorite thing you remember about your wedding day?
I don't know. Everything went smoothly.
Okay. Is there anything that you would change?
No, not really.
Okay.
Except we forgot to send an invitation to some friends, and they were not happy about it. So I would change that.
Fair enough.
But as far as the ceremony was concerned, everything was fine.
Okay. Going back to the did you think of any memories for if you could relive anything, or just
No. Well, yeah, that was David and what was that, a baby alligator or something? And you wanted to put it in the aquarium one way, and I said, no, this is a better way. And it drowned.
Oh no.
Yes.
Well, where did you
I
guys
would do that over again.
How did you guys get a baby alligator?
At the pet store. Was that before or after the chameleon?
After.
After the chameleon. And I don't know, why did we have a chameleon?
The iguana, you mean?
I mean iguana. Was that you?
I think that was Jim.
Oh, okay. So anyway, we had an iguana named Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess we went to the baby chameleon or alligator or something. But anyway, yeah, I would do that all over again. I would listen to my younger advisory.
That's fair. I don't blame you for not listening to my dad, though. Yeah, were you a big bowler? What was the...
Yes, I was. I started bowling when we lived in South Dakota. And then, actually, I took bowling as PE, bowling and horseback riding as PE in college.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was always a decent bowler. And then I met Herb, who was an avid bowler. And so, in fact, I met him at a bowling alley on a blind date. And we bowled on various teams together. I didn't do much while I was teaching, but then when I retired, I bowled in two travel leagues and 2 house leagues. And my average was pretty good. And I did get a 300 when I was in my 60s.
Gracious.
And I got a state trophy for all events when I was in my early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a while to learn. But I enjoyed bowling.
Yeah.
I had a lot of good friends. Well, I quit when my knees finally got to me when I said, when the pins stand up and my average goes down, it's time to quit. And I think I was about 88 or so.
Okay.
But I could still throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Those were fun. And I played just neighborhood tennis.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in grade school, I was the fastest runner in my class.
Okay.
And it got me nowhere except when we played, Pum Pum Pull Away. I was one of the first ones chosen.
I don't know what that is.
Well, you have 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to get people from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And so you choose the fastest. Like you say, I'm going to send so-and-so after so-and-so. So you send the fastest runner from your side to the slowest runner from the other side, so they'll capture them and get back. Like Pum Pum Pull Away. I send so-and-so after so-and-so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I can't remember what the name of that game was, but you used to hold hands and they'd come running across and try to break through
Mm.
the hand. And they finally stopped that one because it got kind of rough.
Yeah.
I could kick a football farther than anybody in the class.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood when I was 10. I never learned how to spit between my teeth. That was my one failure. So now you know more than you need to know.
Is there anything from seeing your grandkids grow up that sticks out to you or you think is pretty funny?
Well, we didn't live real close, but then every summer we went to visit Dave and Becky and had a good time with the kids. And Alan and Teddy lived close to us until, I guess, the kids were in fourth grade or so. I remember we were leaving Dave and Becky's one time, and Kayla was crying. And what's the matter? And she says, well, you're leaving, and there's going to be nobody to talk to me or anything. And I said, what? Well, there's your mom, but she's on the phone a lot. And then one time, Matt and Mindy were at our house, and I don't know what happened, but their jackets were on the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And Mindy came by and picked up one jacket. She says, Matthew, let's go home. But other than that, they were good kids, and we had a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I pushed Kaylee and Brady in a little leaf carrier or something, and then we spewed out. I don't know, those things happen, and you remember you're going to remember, but you don't always remember.
Fair enough.
So, have you pulled this on your grandma a favor?
No, but she usually just kind of tells it without prompting. She's a yapper.
I think Uncle Eric's going to arrange to get her.
Yeah.
Well, she'll do much better than I.
I think you've had some good stories to share. I think yours are probably just a little less messy than hers. Being on a farm, I think it involves a lot more like.
Well, and she raised girls and I raised boys.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to raise boys than it is girls.
Yeah.
I know I've found in teaching it was much easier to teach boys than it was girls.
Yeah.
Not quite as sophisticated.
That's fair.
Although I substituted in Alan's class one time. Maybe I told you that. And when he came, Mom, I said, oh, Alan, what did your kids say about me? He says, they hate your guts. And I said, good.
Well, I mean, I guess that means you raised them honest.
Well, I was a fairly strict teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wasn't perfect, but I tried.
Yeah. I guess, is there anything else you want to add or any other stories you really want to tell?
I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably been a 9.5 life.
Okay. That's what I like to hear. I mean, I've heard that some of your children might have caused some troubles, but I'm glad it didn't bring it down too much.
Well, I don't know if that's trouble or just part of growing up.
Yeah.
There's a differentiation there.
Fair enough.
Because some of it is what happens, and some of it is what's planned.
Mm-hmm.
And I think trouble is more on the planned side.
What advice would you give to yourself at 18?
To myself at 18,
Mm-hmm.
not to try to conform, just be more of an independent person.
Thank you for listening to Well, What Do You Know? The podcast created to tell people's stories. Everybody's got a story, and every story is worth saving.
The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Well, What Do You Know podcast, P Square Design, Pagitech LLC, or our sponsors. The Well, What Do You Know podcast, its parent company, and its sponsors are not responsible for any statements made by guests during the recording or publication of this episode.